When you're trying to care for someone you love from far away, it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. It's this unique challenge, right? You're filled with worry, you're not sure what to do, but here's the good news. It is absolutely possible to be an amazing, connected caregiver no matter how many miles are between you. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can do it.
I bet this is a question you've asked yourself probably more than once. How can I really be involved? Or am I even going to be able to help them properly from so far away? Look, those are completely normal, totally valid concerns. They get right to the heart of what makes this so tough.
But let's be crystal clear about something. Your support is not just helpful, it is vital. And yeah, the challenges are real, but with the right strategies, you can make a huge positive difference in their life, even from a distance.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at the challenge itself. Then, we'll get into laying a solid foundation and building a support system. After that, we'll talk about how to connect and care across the miles. And we'll wrap up by really digging into the vital role you play in all this.
All right, Section 1, the long-distance challenge. Before we jump into all the solutions, we first have to just acknowledge what makes this so different. The unique hurdles of caring for someone when you can't just pop over. Okay, Section 2, laying the foundation. Now we get practical. Because your success here really starts with being prepared and getting organized from day one.
First things first, you've got to really understand your role. This isn't something you can just wing. It means doing a little research, having those honest, sometimes tricky conversations with family about who can do what, and then putting together a real action plan. Seriously, preparation is everything.
Next up, let's talk paperwork. I know, it sounds like a chore, but trust me on this. This is where your power as a long-distance caregiver truly comes from. Being organized is what lets you manage their care and make smart decisions from anywhere without scrambling. So here's a quick checklist of the absolute must-haves. You need access to their medical records, a list of emergency contacts, their current medication list, all the healthcare provider details, and any key legal documents, like a power of attorney. Here's a pro tip for you. Create a grab-and-go binder with copies of all this stuff. That way, in an emergency, anyone helping out can just grab it and go. It's a lifesaver.
And beyond the paperwork, make it your business to stay on top of their medical conditions. Knowledge really is power here. The more you understand what they're going through, the better you can advocate for them and make sure they're getting the best possible care.
Now for Section 3, building your support system. And this is so important, so I'm going to say it twice. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, you can't. A local support system is the absolute key to making this work.
Building that local network really comes down to 3 key steps. First, figure out who your local helpers are: family, friends, maybe even a trusted neighbor. Second, get to know their healthcare team. Introduce yourself to their doctors and nurses. And third, start researching professional home care services in their area.
You might be thinking, whoa, we don't need home care yet. And hey, that might be true. But researching your options before you need them is a total game changer. It turns what could be a future crisis into just a manageable next step. It gives you a plan, not a panic.
Okay, Section 4, connecting and caring. So once you have the logistics kind of sorted out, we can focus on what really matters, bridging that physical distance through communication and real connection.
This slide really says it all, doesn't it? When you're there, you can just drop by. You can see how they're doing with your own eyes. But from a distance, you have to rely on systems. That's why things like scheduled calls and regular check-ins with both your loved one and their local team aren't just nice ideas, they are essential.
Now, when you do get to visit, you have to be so intentional. It is way too easy for the whole trip to become about errands and doctor's appointments. And that stuff is important, for sure, but you have to carve out time to just be with them, to make new memories, to enjoy each other. That's the stuff that really matters.
This is a big one. Loneliness is a huge concern, and it can be a really serious issue for older adults. So how do you help them stay connected when you're not there? Well, technology can be an incredible tool.
Think about this number for a second, 61%. That's the share of adults over 65 who own a smartphone. And while that's great for them, it also tells another story.
Because it means almost 40% of them are potentially disconnected from that easy, modern way of staying in touch. Helping set up something simple, like a dedicated tablet just for video calls, can be an absolute lifeline for them. It bridges that tech gap and really opens up their world. And hey, in the middle of all of this, please please remember to take care of yourself. Long-distance caregiving is emotionally draining. You have to know your own limits to avoid burning out. Finding that balance between your responsibilities over there and your own life right here, that's not selfish, it's necessary.
And finally, Section 5, your vital role from afar. I really want you to hear this. Never, ever underestimate the impact you are having. The support you provide from a distance is powerful and it is essential.
Always remember this. Success in this journey isn't measured by how many hours you are physically in the same room. It's measured by your effectiveness. It's about how you coordinate their care, how you advocate for their needs, and how you use that support system you've built.
I want to leave you with this quote because it just says it all so perfectly. Your role is vital. You are the coordinator, making sure all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. You are the emotional anchor, providing that comfort and connection. And you are the fierce advocate, making sure their voice is always heard.
So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with a question to think about. After hearing all of this, what's the very first, concrete step you're going to take to bridge that distance and make the amazing care you provide even better?